Right, welcome here. We are doing the Cambridge non-calculated practice questions extended, and we're looking at vectors question 3. If I can find it again. There it is. Okay, important with these questions is to go through every detail very closely. The diagram shows a triangle OAB. Okay, they focus our attention to it, so that means that's important, that triangle. Nothing special about the triangle, it's not equilateral or right angle or anything, but a focus. And a parallelogram OALK. Now we need to think, what do we know about parallelograms? Well, they've got parallel sides, and with vectors, if a vector is parallel, if a line is parallel and it's the same length, just like the opposite sides of a parallelogram, it means the vector is the same. So that's telling us that if this is A, which the next sentence, the position vector of A is A, lowercase a, position vector B is lowercase b, they just show us, focus our attention to that. That means that KL is the same vector as OA. We can label it lowercase a. And then that's for the same for OK and AL. We don't know what their vector is in terms of lowercase a and b, but that means it will be the same vector as well. Okay, so it means we've dealt with this piece of information. We've dealt with that one. We've looked at this. Yeah, every detail is important, so pay attention. K is the point on AB. There is K. It's on AB. Okay. We know it's a straight line because it's a triangle. So that AK is in the ratio to KB 1 to 2. So I mean if this is 1, then that is 2. It's like if we cut this piece into 2 pieces, that one will be exactly half of it. Okay. But looking at this, right, if that is 2 parts from KB is 2 parts, and AK is 1 part, how many parts has this whole line been divided into? 3 parts, which means AK is 1/3 of the line and KB is 2/3 of the line. That's maybe the most confusing thing here. Okay, but if we cut it up like 3 pieces there, so the ratio is 2 to 1, we can clearly see we got 1/3 and 2/3 of the line. So then it says find the position vector. Now that is another thing we need to understand, right? Vectors often has an origin. There it is, origin. That's what that O stands for. That is where all the vectors originate from. And the position vector means we want to know what is the vector that originates from there and goes to L. So if I'm just going to use a different color, it asks us to calculate this from O to L. Okay, that's what it wants to do in terms of A and B. Okay, that's the one they want us to find. Okay, of course we can't know that. We need to follow a different path. So I think a good path to follow here would be either OA and AL or OK and AL. I'm going to do OK. So maybe we can say that vector OL is a combination of vector OK and vector KL. Alright, now we know what KL is. Let's lower KA. We need to find OK in terms of A and B. Right, let me swap to a different color for that. Let's do a good purple. First thing I want to know what this vector is here. Okay, don't know what it is, so I'm going to have to find a different path. I'm going to take this path here because it's the shortest. I mean, we can go up there and down, but I think this is later. So we can say that OK is the same as vector OA plus AK. So we want to know what is OK because we OK there, and I'm going to follow OA plus AK. Okay. Now again, we know OA is lowercase a, but we do not know what is AK. So there we have another problem. Okay, but we can figure that out. We're going to find AK. We're going to first find it by doing AB. Okay. AB is not hard to find because we can follow this route which is opposite of A, so it's minus A, and then go there for B. So we can say vector AB is negative A, going the opposite direction of A, and then we're following B. Just to make it easier and nicer, we can swap around the positive B minus A. That's the same. I like it more, yeah? Put the negative number first. So we can say that if AB is B minus A, then KB is 2/3 B minus A, and AK is 2/3 B minus A. It's getting a bit cluttered here, but I think you get it. Okay, so that means we got AK. Good news. We go back to the purple. So AK would be 1/3 of B minus A. So we can say, let's just simplify that. Expand the brackets. 1/3 times B is 1/3 B. And 1/3 times minus A is minus 1/3 A. Let's squeeze this together. So we can say this is A, or 1A. And of course 1 will be 3/3 minus 1/3 will give us 2/3. So 1A minus 1/3 A gives us 2/3 A plus 1/3 B. Sweet. Okay. I mean, okay, not okay. Okay. Right, so we can put all of this in here for OK. So then we'll have the position vector of L, which is OL. So let's write that again. So OL would be OK, which is 2/3 A plus 1/3 B, plus KL, which is A. Yeah, you understand that? We are now following this road. OK, we just worked it out. And then we add that A to get OL. So let's just squeeze things together. Again, 1A is the same as 3/3 plus 2/3, which will give us 5/3. So 2/3 plus 1A will give us 5/3 A plus 1/3 B. And that's our final answer. 5/3 A plus 1/3 B. Of course, you can write this in many different ways. You can write it as a mixed fraction. So you can write 1 and 2/3 A plus 1/3 B. You can write it as a decimal, 1.6 recurring A plus 1/3 B. This A, you can write it at the top, so you can write 5A over 3 plus, and that B, you can put a B over 3. These are all correct, okay? Looking at the mark scheme, there we go. 5/3 A plus 1/3 B. Final answer. I mean, it doesn't say the OE here, but this is not an official exam mark scheme, is it? And there you can see all the marks. Okay. So I'm sure any equivalent answer like I gave, they will also be correct. And then you've done it. Well done.